I've got a background in food supply and natural resource management, and I realise that seafood is often left off the agenda when it comes to food security and food supply for the future. Agriculture has traditionally been the main focus of food security, as grains are kind of the bulk carbohydrate that we eat, but seafood's really important as a source of micronutrients, and it also provides about 10 to 20% of protein, animal protein that we eat. And in some developing countries, especially small island developing states, that can be as high as 50% of their protein needs. Food security and food policy has typically focused on agricultural production and not on seafood. So I'm doing a PhD that I'm looking to complete at the end of this year, and I'm focusing on the sustainability of seafood, but I'm looking at broadening the context of sustainability in seafood. So I'm looking at sustainability in the fishery, which is the traditional concept of sustainability. And instead of looking at just the biological measures, I'm broadening that out to look at things like the carbon footprint and energy use and water use and the impacts that arise from that resource use. And also looking beyond the fishery to the supply chain and the impacts that are generated from processing and transport and wholesale of seafood. Life cycle assessment is a holistic method for quantifying a range of environmental impacts. So it looks at the fishery or the production stage and right across the supply chain. Well, seafood is one of the most highly traded commodities on Earth. And so that means that a lot of the food that we eat has travelled a long way. And in Australia, we actually import over 70% of the seafood we eat here. And a lot of people think that that means that seafood has a higher environmental footprint. So I've been looking at the carbon footprint, which is just one aspect of the sustainability of seafood, the carbon footprint of Australian produced seafood compared with some of the imports that we're bringing in. And what I found is that the distance a product has travelled is not a reliable measure of the sustainability. What's more important are things like the mode of transport, so whether it's air freighted or sea freighted, also the type of seafood that you're eating, as well as the production method, the type of aquaculture or the gear that was used to catch the fish or crustacean. And I've worked in Africa and Cambodia, and for those people, being able to export their product is a really important part of their livelihood. And people in Australia are quite happy to buy local and not support that agriculture, but at the same time they'll happily buy TVs from overseas or holiday overseas, when they should really be looking at some broader measures of sustainability, and that perhaps buying not local sometimes is a better choice. Sounds wrong, but well, I think my research feeds into a broader research body that's really happening at the moment. Globally, people are trying to put seafood on this food agenda and put it into food policy that's developing, and work out how we are going to provide seafood to a growing population that's also got an increasing demand for protein from things like seafood.